So I want to talk for a second about purpose. Purpose is so fundamental and so critical, and it's so popular right now in the media, in leadership discussions, and corporate discussions. It's sort of taken a place where mindfulness is and happiness is. So we got mindfulness, we got happiness, we have purpose. And as critical as it is, I got to tell you, I have an issue with it. I have an issue with all this focus on purpose. To be fair, I'm one of the early creators of the Chamber of Purpose. I was the executive director. I am focused on purpose, but it's kind of run away from us. What we've done essentially is we've made purpose the new fix-all. Once it was happiness. If you can just make employees happy, everybody will be better employees. Then it's mindfulness. If you can just be more focused, then everything will be better. And now it's purpose. If you can just find your purpose, life will be perfect. What's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this picture is, one, life ain't never gonna be perfect. Two, life is just a continuous journey of opportunity, of growth, and you know what comes with opportunity and growth? Uncertainty. And what inherently happens when we're uncertain? We get anxious, we get frightened, we get uncertain and scared, and that's just human nature. I'd love for you to focus on what is your purpose, but I'd love for you to consider that this idea that if you just find your purpose, you will never be anxious again is bullshit. It's not going to happen. You're always going to be anxious. There's always going to be uncertainty. Impermanence is the nature of nature. So where do we go with this? Where we go with this is really clicking into something bigger than just your personal purpose. See, I don't actually believe that each of us has our own purpose. Do we have a destiny? Do we have a dharma? Do we have a path? It certainly appears to be the case. But if you look closely at most of what we consider to be purpose, these are ways that we're trying to recover from some trauma, from an injury, from an upset, from something that is hurting our ego state. So, the mom, the poor, wretched, heartbroken mom whose child was killed in an accident by a drunk driver has a purpose now to eliminate drunk drivers from the streets. The family that had the unfortunate experience of their infant baby contracting AIDS in the hospital, God forbid, now has a purpose to stop AIDS. The person who was bullied has a purpose to not have bullying. Are you seeing the pattern here? Much of what we consider purpose is really an effort that we're putting forth to recover from a trauma, from a pain, from an injury, and to somehow make ourselves feel stronger, better, healthier, whole, healed. It's not enough. It's not enough because it's not really what the world is asking for. What I propose is that there's two fundamental ways that we can be in the world. One is self-centered. That's the automatic default mode. The self-centered mode is what I'm taught and educated, trained, and egoically oriented towards. So in the self-centered mode, it's all about me. And even the way that I think I'm going to be purposeful and serve is about me. My child had this experience, therefore I want to do it differently. My family had this experience, I want to do it differently. The alternative to the self-centered is to include and transcend that ego state. I call it life-centered. In the life-centered mode, it's not just what would make me happy or feel less injured or more in control. In the life-centered mode, I'm asking, what does life want? What does the world ask? And how can I be in service to that? And fundamentally, essentially, at the root of any of these inquiries, if you look deep and long enough, and if you struggle, commit, explore, be curious about not just being caught in your own self-centered ego state, the answer you'll find is the answer that almost every human has found when they dig deep enough. The answer to what is the purpose of being is love. It's love. And I'm not talking about I love my puppy, or I love my wife, or I love my children, or I love my job, or I love my car. That's still about me. What do I love? I'm talking about the capacity to transcend the self-centered state and love. How do I define love? Wanting to do well for others. When I love, I expand, I connect, and I include. Every human being, if you look deep enough, your purpose for being is love. Transcend the small sense of self. Expand, connect, and include. And when you expand, connect, and include, when this love flows up and through and around you, you are serving a profound purpose. You will find a way to make that love valuable, useful, and healing, ultimately, not just for yourself, but for humanity. So sure, pursue purpose, but don't fall into the trap that thinking purpose is one singular answer that'll serve you for the rest of your life. It's a continuous flow, it's an expression of love, and it's an ultimately remarkably courageous surrender and release of your self-centered state.